definitely cut off kind of brief last time. But we'll go to the Kana alphabet, and then we'll do all the combinations of both hiragana, which we talked about last time, and katakana, which we will talk about today. So I think we should just jump right on in and go ahead and get started so we can get as much coverage as we can. Alright. So I already kind of prepped and got the consonants and vowels written out already. So we have them here. Our consonants here. S, K, T, N, H, M, R, Y, W, and then the vowels, which we also have for you in English. I put them over here because I did them last time. Kind of want to keep them consistent, yes. So let's go ahead and get started. So, similar to last time. S, ah, sa, 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 sa. Now, also, we do not have C, but it is she, just like in the other alphabet. She, 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 she. S, ooh, s, ooh, so, so, so. So, 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 so. S, eh, se, se, se. Se, se, se. Oh, I marked this as well. I should be writing the same thing I did last time. Sa, she, su, se. Now we have so, s, oh, so, 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 s, oh, so, so, k, ah, ka, 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 k, e, ki, 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 k, ooh. Now we have ku, k, ooh, ku, ku. Next, k, e, ke, k, e, ke, ke. G. One of our special characters. G. Next, another special one. Z. 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 Ooh. Z. 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 Another fun one. Z. Quite similar to she. Z and she are quite similar. They're both little smiley faces. The way I remember them is when you write them, you start from the side on she, side, she, side. And when you write z, you start at the top. T, top, z, top. Usually when they are written in books or captions or anime or whenever you see them, there's a heavy mark up at the top to indicate that that's where that started at. So that will help show whether it is she or z. They're very similar to each other. Very similar. Next, t, e, t, e, t, e, te. Te, te, t, e, te. T, o, to, 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 t, t, o, to. Back up at the top, we have ah, 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 na, 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 na. Next, e, ni, ni. Here, this kanji, well, this katakana is also the kanji for two, which is ni, which is what we talked about last time. Two is ni. Two is ni. The Japanese word for two is ni, which the kana for ni is the same as the kanji for ni. So that one makes it kind of easy to remember if you remember the number two, because there are two lines here as well. Right? Ooh. 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 We have no. 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 Ooh. No. This one is a bit similar to these two right here. There is no open. This one is open, this one is closed. No. No. This kana is kind of difficult when you have here, and I believe it goes here. This line is a little more extended. This one is quite difficult. It's probably the hardest one of them to write for some reason, because there's multiple moving parts really. Oh. Oh. No. 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 Here's another one that also was similar to these two and this one. Forgot to mention that so looks like these as well. So start from the top as well. So it can kind of be confusing with the z. Yeah, these four look very similar. And I believe there's another one that looks like these as well. Four of them look very similar. Alright, continuing. We have ah, ah, ha, sound like who, but in between. Who. Right. This one is written the same way in katakana as it is in hiragana. They are written the exact same way, so you can easily identify them because they don't change. They're the exact same. Alright. Oh, 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 just like in Santa Claus. It is getting close to Christmas time, which is very exciting as well. Oh, 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 H, O, oh. Next, let's move back up here to letter M. M. Ma. Ma. If you were wondering, these two right here. Oh, let me write a U. My bad. Put these two together, you can get meme. Meme. And meme. 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 Alright, moving on, we have moving on, we have oh, 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 mo, oh, mo. Mo is written kind of similar here to the hiragana. It's just this line is more extended. It's a little more curved in hiragana, but here it's more straight and boxy. One thing you'll notice is that when looking at these two alphabets written in a text or in a book or something, you can tell the difference quite easily. Hiragana is much more curved and wiggly and expressive, and here these are very straight lined and boxy and very pointed. Very pointed, very articulate. It's a very articulate alphabet. Alright, continuing, we have d, a, da, d, a, da. Not quite a straight R sound, but a bit in between, Da, it is a R-L sound once again. Yeah, da. I'm sure if you Google, there's a particular picture that shows exactly where the tongue would go when pronouncing this letter or these group of letters, characters. if you articulate it hard enough as well, it kind of sounds like a D sound. D, 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 E, D, D, E, D. Moving right on along, we have D, ooh, D, ooh, D, ooh, D, do, 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 do. Do, 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 yeah. Do, ooh, do, 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 do. Right, da, de, de, re. Once again, that sound is very tricky. I might be doing it wrong myself, but de, 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 re. And then o, ro, de, o, ro, which is kind of like a square. These lines are not as extended as I made them, which is on me, but it's like a box. It's a good old box. A box. Ro is a box. Ro, ro, ro. Alright, now we have our two special categories that do not completely have, or do not have a vowel for every single one. So, ya, yi, ya, 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 ya. One thing here, I quite often get ya and ma mixed because they are very similar. They have this kind of Y shape to them. And I think that's easy to just say that this is ya as well because of that Y formation that it has. We do not have a ye sound. No ye's here. However, we do have a U sound. U, Y, U, U, Y, ooh, U, 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 there is no E vowel for the Y consonant. However, we do have a Y, oh, yo. We have a yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo. Now, here's another one. I quite often get yo, go, and sometimes even ro mixed up, but it's mostly these two. This extra line changes everything, which is sometimes easy to forget. I usually call this one go and this one yo for some strange reason. I get them confused every time, but they are completely different things. All right, moving along, we have w, ah, w, ah, w, ah, wa, wa. What does that say, Anaya? Wa, wa. That's such a funny video to me. Wa, wa, which can get confused with which I did not mark earlier. My bad. Wa and are quite similar looking. They have this little line that separates them. Straight line. Wa, wa. There is no vowel here or here or here. All of these three are blank. No we, woo, or we. Those do not exist here. They might have at one point, like some other characters, but as far as I know, they are not used enough to still be considered part of the Japanese alphabet. For our consonants, our last one is wo, o, wo, wo, wo. by itself. E, E, the letter E, the letter I in English, but pronounced as E here. E, 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 E. Ooh. Now, here's another one that looks sort of similar. Ooh. Ooh. Wah. Oh. All look so similar to each other. There's always one or two little lines that make them drastically different, which is easy to get tripped up on. Next, we have E. E. This looks like the uppercase I in English, but it's pronounced E, just like the short E, I believe, but you would call it short E sound. E. And then we have the vowel O, not O like how we have here, but O. 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 There's a more like you want to use more of your gut to say O. Open the throat. O versus O. 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 And then our last is this M sound. Just another one that looks like this. Another one of these. These two are super similar, just as these two are. These two have two of the little lines up here. These two only have one, and no has none. Starts from the side, but so starts from the top. That's where the kind of shades method kind of gets lost, because we can't do that here, because so now starts from the top. Now, I think we can go ahead and get started on our top 10, which is the little marks that you often see on the top, kind of right. When I get to drawing them, it'll kind of explain it a lot better. But we'll have both the katakana and the hiragana written for each letter. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a dividing mark. So, with these, you take the hiragana and the katakana that you already know, and you add a little something to them that will change the consonant sound at the beginning of the character. So, this G sound comes from the K characters, the K characters, the K characters, the K characters. So originally you would have the letter or the character for ka, k, a, ka, 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 ka. You want to add two little marks in the top right hand corner of each character, and that then changes the consonant sound in the very beginning from this K to the G. Ga. These are now pronounced as ga. Hiragana ga, katakana ga. Hiragana, katakana, ga, ga, ga. Just like how we did here, we can take the ki sound, ki, our ki sound, ki, 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 hiragana ki, katakana ki. Add the two little marks in the top right, and these become ki, goo, the goo sound. G, oo, goo. Goo. Add the marks in the top right, and these then change from goo to goo. There was a misstep right there. Misspelled. Goo, g, oo, goo, goo. You want to pronounce it like how if you were to see the word G-O-O, you would pronounce it that way. Goo, 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 hiragana goo, katakana goo, hiragana, katakana goo. Next, we can take ke, add our little marks in the top right, and change them to ge, ge, g, e, ge. Changing the consonant from K to G turns these into ge, hiragana ge, katakana ge, ge. Saying that recipe of hiragana ge, katakana ge, hiragana ge, katakana ge. Just as we did before, we can take ko and ko, add our little marks, and turn these two into go, g, o, go, 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 go. Hiragana go, katakana go, hiragana, katakana go. We'll go ahead and make another dividing line right here to separate out our hiraganas and katakanas. I decided it'd be easier to kind of put them all together. That way I wouldn't waste, paper. And it'd be, less of a time waste to kind of have to flip through and stop and everything. So they'll just be kind of put together. So moving right along, this Z sound, the Z, 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 comes from the S sound that we've seen previously. That's the Z. So we can start with what we know. Saw. S, ah. S, ah. Saw. 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 We can add our two little marks up here and turn these two into saw. Saw. S, ah. Saw. S, ah. Saw. S, ah. Saw. Like when you say pizza, you hear people say saw. They drop off the P and just keep saw. Saw. S, ah. Saw. And here we have a special character. You love to see him. These were written as she prior. She. 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 S-H-I. She. Like when you were addressing a woman or a female. She. She. Sh. G, G, hiragana G, katakana G. So we can move to Zu, which comes from our original Su, Su. We add our little marks, and these now are Zu. Just like when you go to the zoo and you see all the animals, a zoo, Z-U, zoo. Or sometimes you can see the ooh sound written as a double O, like how you would see in book or look, that ooh sound. Ooh, zoo. Hiragana zoo, katakana zoo. Hiragana, katakana, zoo, z, ooh, zoo. Next, if we start with se, se, se. Starting with se, we add the marks in the top, right? And they become se. A se, s, s, e, se. Hiragana se, katakana se. Hiragana se, katakana se. Hiragana, hiragana. Hiragana se, katakana se. Se, s, e, se. Now we can take so. So, one of the confusing ones. We'll start at the top. So, we add our exit marks just as usual, and they become so, so, z, o, so, 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 z, o, so. So, put our non-symmetrical dividing line in. I'm going to go ahead and mark off this one right now. There is no D sound, just like there is no T sound. D is derived from T. Those consonants are similar and they are derived from each other. T can become D, but there is no D-I sound. It does not exist, just like T does not exist. But we do have, not this one either, I believe. There is no do. Just like there is no do, there is no do. Sometimes you can say the zu and chi with the little marks, but I am not quite sure how they are pronounced because they are not quite often used. I've never had to use them, and I've never really ever seen them either. I think they're kind of falling out of the alphabet as well, which is fine. So, let's start with ta in hiragana and ta in katakana. And then we can add our marks as usual and turn these into da, poorly executed. But here we have do, hiragana do, and katakana do. Hiragana do, katakana do, do, de, o, do, de, o, do, do. Next, going to B, the B sound. It is derived from the letter H. Why, I am not quite sure. Unlike these ones, they do not sound exactly the same. Really, not at all. The H and B are quite different, so it's easier to separate them out, which is quite nice. So, starting with ba, you take your original ha sound, ha, and you add the two little marks just as usual to get ba, b, ah, b, ah, ba, b, ah, ba. Like the sound a sheep would make. Ba. A short sound for a short sheep. Ba. Next, you would take the he sounds. He. The he sounds. Add the two marks at the top, right? And these are now B, 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 E, B, B, E, B, B, E, B, B, E, B. Now we have ooh, the ooh sound. Let's see the weird sound, the HF sound. One, the good old HF noise. Adding our two little exit marks up here. These are now boo, b, ooh, boo, b, ooh, boo, b, ooh, boo, boo, like a ghost would say. Boo, boo. Next, we get to good old he, which looks the same in both hiragana and katakana. These are the same letter. So putting are the same. They mean the same thing, even though they're technically supposed to be from different alphabets. They're written the same in both. Add your two little little marks, and these are now be, b, e, be, b, e, be, b, e, be. Hiragana be, katakana be, be. Finally, for this one, we have ho. Ho. And then, just as usual, add your little marks, and these become bow, b, o, bow, b, o, bow, 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 b, o, bow, 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 bow. Hiragana bow, katakana bow, hiragana bow, katakana bow. For our final column, separate them out in a non-straight line. And the B is derived from H as well. This can get confusing because these two have the same root characters, but the little marks that you add are different. So, start with your ha for both hiragana and katakana, but instead of these little marks, you want to add a little circle, just like that. Two little circles. Now it changes into pa, pa, p, which now changes the E to a P. 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 E. P. P. E. P. 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 E. P. It gonna be. It gonna be. Kata gonna be. It gonna be. Kata gonna be. Moving on to the little V. We add the circle, just like how we did before, which now change these two to boom, 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 B, ooh, boo, boo, B, ooh,